There you are. Let's go.
If you're new around here, I'm Jet Ski Chuck. We dive into the most disturbing videos we can find on the internet today. For context, don't believe everything you see on this video. Some stuff may resonate with you, some stuff may make you cringe, but we'll get through it, I promise. 2 things we need to do before we get started. 1, hit that like button. 2, hit that subscribe button. Let's dive in, divers.
See, and this is proof of what's really going on.
125,000 acres of nothing. Because the noise they were planning on making would wake the dead. It's like a horror movie.
It does sound like a horror movie.
And as it turns out, the cleanest. That cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor. And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet. It's raining!
That's crazy.
Rain, God! It's making it so wet!
And we keep hearing time and time again about cloud seeding and geoengineering, but as you can see, it is real. And they say this clip comes from 1999 or something like that. Imagine with the technology we have today, what would it really look like?
It's an American technology, cloud seeding.
Tip of the iceberg, who knows what they can do with the different weather elements now.
Steiner actually predicted 100 years ago that in the 21st century, we're going to enter a phase called the Ahrimanic impulse. Ahriman is the entity of materialism. It's the consciousness that there's no soul in this body. Your religion is science. Your religion is government. Your religion is materialism and computer systems. You're just an algorithm. He said right at that time is the highest that humanity is going to face that. And then we'll have 20 years. 20 years from now. So just think about it from now to 2040. If humanity does not snap out of this trajectory that we're in, this impulse, we're going to enter an age called the 8th sphere. And the 8th sphere is a complete dystopian world where we've forgotten what we've forgotten. We have no connection to God. We have no connection to our elders, our ancestors, the indigenous cultures, soil, all of the stuff that makes us human. The herbology, all that stuff is just going to be gone with the wind, and it's just technocratic. Like Steiner's whole thing was interesting. The human embodiment and development has stepped away from working into developing conscious efforts. Instead, it's all about how to make money.
Yeah.
How to survive. That's a problem.
It reminds me of the scene on The Matrix when all the tentacles was flying around. People haven't seen sunlight and they didn't know how long, I believe.
There is a very dark secret for why crows are illegal to own as pets, and I'm going to break it all down for you. And make sure you watch to the end because this is mind-blowing. Now, a lot of people think that crows are illegal to own because they can be trained to steal money from people, but the real reason is much deeper than this. Now, crows can actually analyze and remember specific human faces. And not only this, but they can actually pass this information onto their offspring and their friends. So if you do good things to a crow, like give it food, it will remember your face, and it will pass that information onto its friends and its offspring, letting them know that you are an ally. Think about how crazy that is. Human beings do not possess that capability. Now, the same thing works on the flip side. If you harm a crow, it will hold a grudge for over 7 years, and it will tell all its friends and its offspring that you are a coward. Now think about this. Because crows can differentiate between friend and foe, enemy and ally, what if they can pass that information on to us? What if they can tell us who our enemies are and who our friends are? Something that the system and the controllers of this world definitely wouldn't want, hey? Now, crows and ravens were highly depicted throughout many ancient cultures. They were known as the messengers between the spiritual and the physical realm, carrying information and wisdom from the spiritual to the physical and vice versa. Again, a big reason why they wouldn't want us communicating with them because it threatens the current control mechanisms of this system. Crows are also extremely intelligent beings. They can be compared to that of a 7 or 10-year-old child. Even that's debatable. They're probably smarter. Why is it that all of these intelligent creatures in nature, they make it illegal to communicate with and to own? Dolphins, mammals, crows and ravens. But we can own all sorts of other pets and creatures and communicate with them. Really makes you wonder what they're truly hiding and why they don't want us to form relationships with these incredibly intelligent creatures. It's like they're trying to sever the connection with us and Mother Nature itself. They just want to spoon feed us the indoctrination and the lies that the system wants us to believe. You think it's just a coincidence that just recently crows have been given such a bad rap? They've been associated with death and negative omens? In fact, the Catholic Church played a major role in shaping cultural beliefs around crows and ravens, equated them with demons, witches, and the devil. Also associated with death, witchcraft, and evil omens. Which is interesting because cultures like the Celtics, the Norse, native traditions referred to crows as sacred, as wise, and divine messengers.
I want a pet raven now.
Suppose we use the same argument on Napoleon. If you've ever seen the statue of Napoleon in Place Vendôme, Paris, you will notice that the word there of Napoleon is written the Apollio. Now that would mean, making this Greek, that means that he is Apollo itself. So there never really has been a Napoleon. It's all due to the sun cult of Apollo. You think you studied the history of Napoleon? Ridiculous. Who was his mother? Letizia, wasn't it? Who was the mother of Napoleon? Leto. What does Leto mean? In one language, Letizia in the other. Both joy. That's how we got the idea that Napoleon was born of a woman named Letizia from Apollo. You believe that Napoleon had 3 sisters? He did, according to the myth, but where did the myth start? Apollo had 3 sisters. Didn't Apollo have 2 wives? One was the earth, the other was the moon. Napoleon had 2. Where's the sun the major part of the day? How long is it in the sky? About 12 hours. How long did Napoleon reign supreme? 12 years. See, sun myth. He never existed. Furthermore, where is the sun strongest? In the north or the south? It's the south, isn't it? Gets weaker in the north, doesn't it? Where was Napoleon defeated? In Russia. See? Napoleon never existed. Sun cult. Think.
He can't be lying because look at his cape. I mean, with this dude dressed as M. Bison, I kind of trust him with the cape.
Themselves. Watch this.
In the Bible that you have today, the King James Version, John 16, 23, 24, what you have is the condensed version. You have the edited version. The edited version looks like this. Whatsoever ye ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Hitherto have ye asked nothing in my name. Ask and ye shall receive, that your joy may be full. This is the edited version. This is so amazing to me because they took out the 2 sentences that tell us how to ask. Now here's the piece that was edited. Here is what was lost. Look at these 2 very powerful sentences. Ask without hidden motive and be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire, that your gladness be full. Look at what it's saying.
If everyone understood what was really in the Bible, then they wouldn't be able to control us, which is why.
Where did he get those 2 sentences from is my first question.
When Christopher Columbus first got to America, he actually talked about a race of dog-headed people being here.
Really? I didn't learn that in history class.
His original writings went missing. His son wrote down some of the stuff that he wrote, and then that writing was actually considered banned or something. They don't want you to know what he wrote. Type in Hernan Cortez giants. He says straight up in his quote that there is the posterity of giants they believe to exist here. He said they brought him the leg bone of one, which was from the hip to the knee. And he said, I measured myself against it and it was as tall as I am.
Jeez.
Though I am a man of reasonable height, he said, this must assuredly be giants in the land. Basically, they get here and there was dog-headed people and there was giants. They got here and just like killed them. Type in any early explorer giants or dog-headed people or something. You're going to find some writings. You're going to be like, why didn't they teach us this in school? Or how about it really existed and they just don't want you to know about it because it points to the Bible. Like it validates that God is true. Everything that we know about the biblical text is not what we're assuming.
This collider and these beings that they're in communication with. So we're talking about the premier scientists on planet Earth right now who are actively engaged, according to their own words, communicating with something with a personality, in their own words, in from another dimension. And that's the purpose of the collider. I mean, people need to understand, this is not science fiction, this is fact.
That's correct. What I write about in my novels,
right,
I place a storyline that is embedded with science fact. Everything that I present publicly in the books, public speaking, is all drawn from their own scientific journals and white papers. And then I'm able to see what they're doing. Not just extrapolate, but see in the real time what it is they're doing. Not a future agenda, but what they're doing right now today. The imminency of what they intend to do, which is opening this gateway. And understand that the world of science in terms of particle physics also overlaps into DNA, into biology.
Yes.
Did you know there's a line across America where reality starts to break down? They call it the 37th parallel, and it might just be the strangest stretch of land in the US. Running from Santa Cruz, California all the way to the Chesapeake Bay, this latitude, 37 degrees north, has been dubbed America's Paranormal Highway. Why? Well, it passes through various mysterious military bases, national parks, and clusters of high strangeness, almost like it's a roadmap for the unexplained. Going from east to west, this line runs right through Washington, D.C., and then on over to Appalachia, where we know there's a lot of weird stuff happening. It also cuts through the largest cave network in the world, Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, which there's some weird stuff with caves and things like Missing 411. It also passes through Joplin, Missouri, home of the infamous Hornet Spooklight, and the Ozarks in general, a region haunted with cryptid sightings and bizarre encounters over the years, and it's also home to the New Madrid fault line. It also skirts the edge of the Dulce Basin, New Mexico, a super secretive installation that allegedly houses aliens and unspeakable experiments, as well as Taos, New Mexico, home of the Taos Hum. From there, it runs directly through Skinwalker territory in the Four Corners region and not far from Area 51 itself. Now, what's really interesting about this parallel is the number of major UFO cases and sightings that have happened through history along this line, like the 1941 Cape Girardeau UFO crash that happened in Missouri, or the Roswell crash in 1947, even the Mantell case in 1948, which prompted the launch of Project Blue Book after the captain of the squadron intercepting the UFO that was seen perished trying to pursue it. And even in the 1800s, people were reporting mystery airships well before the Wright brothers ever took flight. And there's also been reported occurrences of missing time, people driving on the highway, seeing strange lights, then snapping back to reality hours and miles from where they were without explanation. And then there's the livestock mutilations. Thousands of cases since the late 1800s, all with the same signature. Major organs, eyes, and other body parts removed with surgical-like precision. The bodies drained of blood and no tracks, like they were almost dropped from the sky. So what is the 37th parallel? Well, some people think that it could be a ley line or some kind of dimensional rift. Others think it could be a kind of cosmic highway for UFOs for some reason. Make sure to drop your theories in the comments and let me know what you want to hear about next.
What if most of that lines up with Route 66?
Pigs contains the souls of banished humans. Watch this.
First, consider their eyes. Many note the striking resemblance between pig eyes and those of humans, sparking speculation about a deeper connection. In the Bible, even demons didn't want to go to hell, so they begged Jesus to be cast into the bodies of pigs rather than face their fate. That's not all. It gets even eerier. Adding to the mystery, pigs are unable to look up at the sky, as if they're barred from gazing upon the heavens above. And across many religions, the consumption of pork is forbidden or discouraged, raising questions about why pigs hold such taboo status. Enter Joe Metheny, a serial killer infamous for his gruesome crimes. He claimed that human flesh tasted like pork, suggesting a chilling connection between the two. And he's not alone. Other cannibals have echoed Metheny's sentiment, claiming that humans taste eerily similar to pork. Coincidence or something more sinister?
Will you ever have pork again after knowing this? Because...
What about raw eggs? We talked about that one before. That's another one also that they tell you should just eat the whites, which make no sense. Or you should cook the whites, which make no sense because you destroy all the biotin. Or you should just eat the yolk. It's like nature gave you a full egg. You eat the full egg. That's what it is. And that full egg gives you a ton of minerals. It also balances out your body, helps your meridian lines, helps your eyes, your hair, your skin, your nails. You 2-3 raw eggs a day. You'll be feeling great. And it's funny because this is why they had the whole shortage situation, which they just so just jack up the price. But this is why they did that, because it takes away vital food from the people, and then people have to go to some weird Bill Gates food or something else instead of just eating 2 to 3 raw eggs. It is the cheapest form of protein that you can possibly consume. This is why Bill Gates has got some chickens that make like soy eggs now or something. It's just weird stuff. Anytime they make something, you should wonder why it's being, and you should question why they're and then trying to take it away from you. The milk is going to get you. Well, what's funny is when you were growing up as a child, you were also drinking from your mother's milk. So, you gotta kind of think about that. So milk actually has a lot of vital nutrients in it that are very beneficial.
They just knew what they were doing. Man, did that look good.
When I realized that the aliens could move my very essence and my soul and my consciousness from my body, I had a spiritual crisis because I just thought, this is not allowed. Where did my Bible tell me that the aliens can take me out of my body and have any authority whatsoever over me or over the afterlife or over anything to do with my very essence, my soul? What
Those have to be demons, not aliens.
Makes me me. And now I understand that the humans are doing it as well. And so I'm devastated. I feel very betrayed. I had a really rough couple of weeks. I was like, man, the humans are doing this to me. And I want to say this is not two different things. So this is not the so-called aliens and the so-called covert humans operating separately. This is a combined project. It is becoming very, very difficult for abductees to even separate now an alien abduction from a covert human abduction because there is so much overlap, and these entities are working with humans side by side. We have a new whistleblower out in the community. Phenomenal. So we have insiders coming out now. Now, I'm not as educated on a lot of the history and the lore of ufology, but we now have a very brand new whistleblower saying, I was in the program. These entities are working side by side with humans, period. There's no question. And so now, am I only taking his word? No, I'm going by my own experiences. I'm going what I've seen with my own eyes, despite the fact that they do have control over our perception. And I'm going with now the abduction research going back decades is showing this very same thing. So I'm just devastated. I cannot believe human beings are using American citizens, and I think especially in the United States, we have this sense of entitlement, of freedom, of sovereignty over ourselves, over our bodies, over our spirit and soul. When I realized that the aliens could move my very essence and my soul.
Or it could be both. It could be demons inside alien skin suits, for all we know.
Why is it the ancient gods all carry this bag alongside with a pine cone? Even the Pope carries a pine cone. Vatican has the pine cone with the dome. Bags are the carrier of things and they can be passed on, and it's always carried in their left hand. In the Kabbalah, the right represents wisdom, the left represents knowledge. This represents the carrier of secret knowledge, of how to activate the pine cone. The left is the knowledge, the right is the applied knowledge, wisdom. Pine cones can be open or they can be closed. Pine is pin, which is the pineal gland, a spiritual gland in the brain which acts as an antenna for our consciousness. You have a physical body and a spiritual body, but most humans are stuck in their physical form. This bag is the secret knowledge of how to activate our spiritual body by activating our pineal gland, going from asleep to awakened, from darkness to the light, from hell to heaven. Pineal gland is not the third eye. Pineal gland is an antenna, a receiver of consciousness. The mind is the third eye.
I always was wondered, why did they have those bags? What exactly were they working on?
Something is happening, and the Emerald Tablets of Hermes warned us about it thousands of years ago. A lost civilization, returning, a hidden truth, breaking free. And the secret? It's been buried in the ocean this whole time. They told us space was the final frontier, but the Emerald Tablets say the deepest secrets were hidden beneath the waves. El Niño is intensifying. Strange land masses are appearing. What if a lost world is trying to break through, and they don't want us to know? What if every space mission was actually a deep-sea operation? What if they never left Earth? The world is reaching another turning point. The hidden will rise, the forgotten will return, and only those who see will survive. The Emerald Tablets were not a myth. They were a warning.
Every time you choose the hard path over the easy escape, you are building the scaffolding of an unshakable life. Every time you say no to mediocrity and yes to your higher self, you are getting rich. This is the truth most men never hear. Wealth is not something you earn. It is something you embody. It flows to the version of you that has proven he can handle it. It bends to the will of the man who commands his thoughts like a king commands his army. It appears, not to the one who begs, but to the one who builds. You are not here to fit in. You are not here to survive. You are here to dominate your limitations, to rise above the noise, to carve your vision into reality with precision, purpose, and patience. Money follows value. And value is forged in silence, in discipline, in the invisible hours when no one claps for you, when no one believes in you, when even your own mind tries to whisper defeat. But you do not listen to that voice anymore. You've reprogrammed it. You've silenced it. You've turned that voice into a servant, not a master. Because now you are the master of your thoughts, the master of your emotions, the master of your days, your rituals, your discipline, the master of your future. And because of that, you will be the master of riches. Let the others wait. Let them gossip, complain, distract themselves into oblivion. You are different. You move with clarity. You breathe with purpose. You act with power. And the world, slowly at first, then all at once, bends to your will. Not because you shouted, but because you showed up every single day. Aligned, disciplined, unshakable. Success is not an accident. Wealth is not a coincidence. It is science. And you are the equation. Now rise and become the proof. You must keep in mind the following. Repetition is the sculptor of your destiny. You will not become what you visualize once. You will become what you visualize consistently, daily, obsessively, until your brain starts adjusting your behaviors, your standards, your environment to match that inner self-image. That's not magic. That's biology. So listen this lesson again and again and again until it gets installed in your brain and in your subconscious mind, until you realize the results you seek.
I'm trying to throw y'all a Hail Mary, man. Whoever can catch it, can catch it. That's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is Wednesday Heat. Drop Wednesday Heat in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real diver on these waters. You mess with your boy, and I really appreciate your support from the bottom of my heart. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you later.